Hi, welcome to the Downey organization team call. This call will be led by Carrie Robinson, and it will be about virtual parties. We're excited to hear what you have to say, Carrie. Take it away.
Okay. Well, I'm glad everybody joined us. This is, I feel kind of sorry for Kathy and Becky because they heard this same training on Monday night at our team meeting, but you can maybe get some more from it. But first, I want to start off saying I am not an expert on this. This is just what I learned last month. But I've never been a big Facebook user or really a big fan of it until a couple of years ago. I got a little bit more active on it, but probably till then I was one of those creepers, just reading posts and stuff. But I never really had set up events for any of my hostesses when they're having a catalog party or anything like that, and just kind of didn't do a whole lot with it. And a few years ago, when Pampered Chef announced at conference that we were now on Facebook, everybody was like all excited, and I was just like, I didn't know what the big deal was or whatever. And I'm like, oh, whatever, something else for me to do. But I just never got into it too much. But slowly over the years, I've become more active and stuff, even with my own personal page and stuff like that. But I'll kind of tell you what happened to me in May, because in May, my show schedule started, my hostesses just started canceling on me left and right. Really, really bad. And not even rescheduling, just absolutely canceling. Because, Mother's Day, in Kansas, it's graduation because school's out. Then there's Memorial Day, Mother's Day, all of that stuff. And already by May 5th, I was down to like 3 cooking parties and a bridal shower. And that's just not going to do it for me personally. And so I was kind of at first really, really freaking out because I couldn't get people to schedule in. And then it almost started becoming comical because everybody was just canceling left and right. And on May 5th, I'm not kidding you, May 5th, I threw my hands up in the air and told my husband, forget it. I'm moving on to June. And he couldn't hardly believe what he was hearing. It's like, it's only May 5th. And I'm like, I know, but you don't understand. These people, they want to book a couple weeks out. Now we're talking into Mother's Day and graduation, and then there's Memorial Day. I had all the excuses, and I'm like, I'm just moving on to June. And so he's like, well, he was still kind of surprised I did that, but I'm just like, let May fall where it's going to, and I'll just have to be satisfied with that. But it kept bugging me because I'm like, I have a personal financial goal that I need to have a certain amount of money in sales each month. And so it just kind of kept eating on me. And on Facebook, I would keep seeing all of these people posting, some of my friends posting about virtual parties. And there's a difference between virtual parties to me and live parties, because what I'm going to talk about is the live virtual parties, because I know people have set up events and stuff on Facebook prior and called them virtual parties, but this is really like a live event. And so I knew Michelle, who's on the call, she was going to have her first one, so I asked if I could sit in on hers. And so I sat in and observed her first one and kind of see how it went. And then I talked to my friend Cora, because she had been posting some things on virtual parties. So I actually text her and said, what's your phone number? I want to pick your brain. So I called her and talked to her about the live virtual parties, and she'd been having them for quite a while. And I asked her what her show average was, and she said anywhere from $300 to $600 in sales. And that kind of perked me up a little bit, because I'm like, even if I added 1 or 2 of those, that would still help my sales somewhat. And so she added me to the Pampered Chef virtual Facebook page that some consultants have set up. And I started looking on that page, and it was just full of great information. And at the very top, there's a post that's pinned that gives you a call-in number for a conference call that some of the ladies did. And so I listened to that and kind of really started getting a little bit more interested, because I'm like, I can do these from my home. These aren't going to take a 2-week period. People can schedule them in a day or 2 or 3. You can schedule them in really fast. And so I decided after listening to the conference call and looking around and seeing all the events, and this is the cool thing too, on that Facebook page, a lot of the people, there's a couple of people that already set up like an outline, but Cora invited me to her mock virtual Pampered Chef party. And I went over to hers and I set up one on my own as a mock party and just copied and pasted off of Cora's outline that she had. But anyway, we'll kind of maybe come back to that. So I decided I'm going to give this a try, and I'm going to do my own Help with Cancer fundraiser. And so I set it up, invited my Facebook friends, and I think I had like 18 say that they're going to attend. And I did my first one, and I had my mock Facebook page open, and then I had the live event open. And I copied and pasted from my mock one into my live one the whole time when we were on there. And you're talking about 20 posts. You post them about every 2 or 3 minutes. However, I found that if you have a lot of people on there, you're going to post about every 4 minutes. But anyway, I'll try to come back to that too. So I did my first one, and the sales start coming in, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is cool. And every time a new order would come in, you know, of course, as a consultant, you get notification. And from that particular fundraiser, I end up with $650 in sales for that fundraiser. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, this is pretty cool. And I had another $100 to put with it. You know, so that show ended up being $750 for my Help with Cancer fundraiser. But I'm going to be honest, you know, there takes some time beforehand to get all your posts set up, and all of that. There's a lot of prep work beforehand. But during that live event, when I was copy and pasting, it was very intense because you're constantly moving things over in a matter of 2 and 3 minutes period time. Plus, people are making comments, and you're trying to catch up with them and everything. So I'm going to be honest, I had a headache for 2 days afterwards over it because it was very intense. And but I was a very happy person because now I had just increased my sales of by $650 on the virtual party. So I thought, you know, this can be a real thing for me and for my team and other people out there. So I wanted to find out a little bit more, and I started searching and a little bit more, and I kept hearing people talk about this website called Tiny Torch, or also there's one that's called Scent Share. And what you do is you go in, and I'm going to particularly talk about Tiny Torch because that's what I'm using and that's what I'm familiar with, and it is a free website. And what you do is you go in, and also the instructions for this is on that Facebook Pampered Chef Virtual Parties. Okay, and the file section, it's the instructions on how to do Tiny Torches in there, which is wonderful because I just downloaded those and then taught myself how to do Tiny Torch. And Tiny Torch, what you do is you go in and you create your posts. So I went to my mock party. Remember, I had that mock party set up on Facebook. And now I created a post in Tiny Torch, copied and pasted it, and all your posts are numbered 1 through 20 or whatever. So as you're posting these live virtual parties, when you make a post, something weird happens with Facebook, and they don't keep them in order. So when somebody comes on your page, they might see post number 6, but really you're on post number 13, and it might be down a ways. So it's kind of weird. So it's very important to number the posts. But anyway, I went into Tiny Torch and taught myself how to make the posts and number them. And then it shows you with the instructions exactly how to share it. And what you do then is you go to your Facebook event that you have set up, choose the event that you want it to go to, and you can send it right then or you can schedule it when you want it to happen. So if you, like I have a Facebook live virtual party on Wednesday night, I'm working at getting all of her posts scheduled. And so they're going to schedule during her party from Tiny Torch every 3 to 4 minutes. And so it does the posting for you. So it leaves you open to set up and do the commenting. Does that make sense to everybody? And it takes so much stress off of you, or it did for me, to just all of a sudden I'm on the Facebook event and I'm just refreshing my page as well, just like everybody else is. And then I'm able to make comments. And a lot of times they'll say, hey, Carrie, what's the item number for this? Or, hey, Carrie, how does this work? And you can sit there and you can answer them by having Tiny Torch or Cinch Share automatically post it for you. Or let's say, see, now I set up my events for cooking parties and catalog parties. And I'll go in there, and on Tiny Torch, I will schedule different things to come into their parties at different times. And I'm not at my computer all the time. It just automatically posts for you. And so that was a huge deal for me to learn, to help me with these, because, I mean, Tiny Torch isn't hard to learn how to do it, but I'm just saying it was a huge help. That's what I mean to say. It was a huge help by doing that. And then when you're at your parties, it's so much better. But anyway, so I held my first one. And then I had a girl that was doing a catalog party, and I said, would you be interested in doing my second virtual party, just kind of for some practice? And she said, sure. So in May, and that was happening in May. So in May, I did that was my second virtual party with her. And I had the Tiny Torch set up by that time for her. And she increased her sales by $311 from that virtual party. And then I had my fourth one, and it was $11 from a $1,200 party on that virtual party. And so then I had my fourth one the next night, and it totally bombed. And so I want to tell you, you're going to win some, you're going to lose some, is what I'm finding out, you know. But anyway, for May, because that fourth one, she ended up getting one order, and then she's going to have a party anyway, so we took it off her order. But I increased my sales almost $2,200 for the month of May, and hit the goal that I needed to, and actually exceeded the goal that I had for myself anyway. So had I not have done those 3 parties in particular, I wouldn't have even have met my personal goal, and it increased, you know, it went over my personal goal as well. So I'm very excited about it. I'm excited what they can do for us and our business. And they take 1 hour, and you're sitting at home doing them, and your guests are sitting at home doing them. And I would sure encourage you to check out Tiny Torch or Cinch Share. I think host coaching is very, very important, because it's kind of a newer thing, and we have to coach them just like we would on a cooking show, you know. And there's all kinds of information on that Facebook virtual party group, you know, even wording to have them personally message their guests when they invite their guests. Send this message with it, and it includes the direct link to their show. But I want to share with you what the gal that had almost a $1,200 party. After her party was over, she really sent a heartwarming message, and this is what she told me. She said, "Here's something I love about that party. I had friends participate from all walks of my life, from college to early years and my job, to later years of my job, to hometown friends. It was the ideal thing if I were to come up with a dream party and invite all of my friends from all walks of my life. We were there together for 1 short hour at the same time for the same reason. I loved it. From all over the country." She had her friends join. And I thought that was so heartwarming, and I thought that's what it's all about. You know, we were there, and it was so much fun, and you can really increase your sales by doing this, I think. Now, I lost my train of thought for a minute. like I said earlier before, I think it's all about host coaching. It's really important, and you have to stay on them. Hey, have you messaged your friends about this? Have you messaged your friends about that? Also, like when I'm trying to teach them that when I make those posts into Tiny Torch, it's automatically posting in there, to read them, to comment. Don't just like it, comment and tag somebody. Oh, so-and-so, did you see this? This is really a cool thing. Maybe this would be something you're interested, maybe there was some kind of conversation that they had recently about a product. And there's all kinds of videos on the Pampered Chef YouTube channel that you can copy and paste. Like I said, there's several outlines in that Pampered Chef Virtual group. And the other thing is, though, there's also like an article that you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. You don't want to just, for me, this is going to be kind of like a supplement to my sales, and that's what it did for me for May. But, it's not going to be the only thing that I do. I'm still never going to give up my cooking shows, but it is an option for some people. Maybe they just only want to be a virtual consultant, or maybe at a catalog party, they're going to try the live virtual parties. That's definitely, a supplement for me. And at my parties, what I've started to say, because we've all heard the reasons why they can't have a party. I have soccer, my kids have soccer, swimming, baseball, whatever. And people are busy, and we understand that. We hear that over and over and over. And then, so I've started saying, are you on Facebook? Well, yeah, like most people are, right? Are you on Facebook? Do you have 1 hour? Because guess what? They just came to your cooking show and gave you an hour. Do you have 1 hour that you would like to meet on Facebook and have your friends, and I'll make live posts? I emphasize the live, that everybody will meet at the same time. And I'm finding, some will say, no, I'm not interested. And others are like, yeah, that's a good idea. Let me think about that. Or I'll say, like the other night at my party, Tuesday night, I think it was. Yeah, Tuesday night. She said, well, I'll think about it. And the girl said, what are you going to think about it? Just do it, because it's not like you're going to have to send out invitations. And that's exactly what I was about to say. I said, let's just do it. So we scheduled her for Wednesday night. You go home, you set up the event. If you have your post created in Tiny Torch, man, you can get that thing ready to go right then. You can have it. You can have it the next day. It doesn't take. It's no expense to you and to try it. Because it's some time of getting it together and getting your post and figuring all that out. But you're sitting at home. And another thing I heard somebody say, oh my gosh, my friends won't sit for an hour on Facebook. And I just want to crack up, because hello, we all spend time on Facebook, and before too long, guess what? An hour has gone by, right? So that hour, and everybody says that hour goes so fast, and it does. All of a sudden you look up, and when I was doing my first one and I was posting stuff like mad and everything, I looked up and it was like 5 till 8 or whatever. I was like, oh my gosh, I got to get these posts done. But with Tiny Torch, automatically brings it over. The important thing too on your live virtual parties that you want to stress is refresh, refresh, refresh. Because if they don't refresh, they're really going to get behind on the posts. But emphasize that they're all numbered, and they can go back and look at it and catch it up too. But encourage them to watch the videos, because they're going to see how that close and cut works, or they're going to see how the food processor works, or whatever. And some of these are going to be the tortilla baker, because they're going to be new products to people. So I'm thinking, I know that's not a whole hour's worth, but I thought maybe we might have some questions. I did see where somebody was setting up some things about a virtual bridal shower, and I was like, yeah, get the outline, let me know, but yeah, there's all kinds of things, and fundraisers and different things too. But I hope that helps. I would really encourage everybody to at least look into it. And I know Becky on my team, after Monday night meeting, she went home and set up two virtual parties, at least that I know of. So I would encourage people to, high five, Becky, encourage people to at least give it a try, because I was totally shocked. And You guys, I was doing the happy dance. I'm not kidding you. I increased my sales by almost 2,200 for the month of May. And I had told Cora, I'm going to try this. Maybe I'll pull May out of my hat, and it really helped. Of course, that $1,200 party, that host, I think the other key is too, that host is active on Facebook like nobody's business. She's on there all the time, and I think that helps too. And she was very active in the party. When I'd make a post, she would talk about it. She would tag people. She did all the right things. And 5 minutes before her party, she had her beer in her hand, and she'd post a picture, and she's like, I'm ready. So she was very involved. And I think if you can really get your host to be involved, that's going to really, really help you. So I think that's about all I have. There might be some questions, Tiffany.
Yes, we can start asking questions now. There is a method that you can go and raise your hand. Right now, Michelle has her hand raised, so she is unmuted. And go ahead and ask your question, Michelle.
Okay, Carrie, the question I have is about Tiny Torch. How easy is it for like untechy people like myself to use? And how long does it take to post all your things on there?
That's a good question, because I'm not that techie either, and so I was kind of proud of myself for teaching this to me. But you know what, Tiny, on that virtual website, they have the instructions on exactly how to do it. And really, truly, guys, if I can do it, you can. And it tells you exactly what to do. And then once you have your post created, you can reuse those posts over and over and over. So initially, it took me, I spent several hours figuring out and making my posts. And now I know how to make it so easily that I'm creating new posts all the time. But then you can reuse those posts over and over and over. And then to go in and set up that virtual party, maybe 15 minutes after you have it done, maybe.
I went on to Tiny Torch tonight right before the call. You created an account. It took me 3 seconds. I went in there and I just clicked on all the links on the left-hand side. One said create. I clicked it. I typed in something and I hit save. I looked up a picture too to put with it, and it was done. Literally took me 3 seconds to do it.
Of course it took Tiffany 3 seconds.
Right. It'll take me
Okay, so it might take you 30 seconds to type it and then look for the picture. I already have it saved.
If you copy and paste what they've already created for you, man, that's just awesome.
And I went on to Carrie's virtual party from her Help With Cancer one, and I copied all her posts and saved her pictures as I copied the posts. So I created a folder on my hard drive called Virtual Party. And as I saved the picture that went with post number 1, I saved the picture 01-welcome. And then the picture that went with number 2 post was let's get started. So I saved that picture as 02- whatever would bring to mind what the picture was. So when I number them, they're going to be in the folder in the same order as the posts. Does that make sense?
Yes.
I see a couple people nodding. So I just saved them instead of, because they'll automatically default to alphabetical. But if you put that number in front of the file name, 01, 02, 03, 04, whatever, make sure you use the 0 for the single digits. It will save just like that. So by the time I was done and I saved post number 22, saved picture number 22, I was done. And that link I saved in an Evernote, and I did put it on the Downey page so that you could have access to all Carrie's posts, which I'm assuming are the ones that she copied from somebody else. So that's really what this is. It's just copying and pasting from other people. And Evernote is very easy for me to use, and so that's why I save it there, because I can access it from all my devices, and then copy and paste. But I have not used Tiny Torch yet, but I love the fact that once you save the post, you can reuse it over and over and over again. So even if it's not a virtual party, say you just did a catalog show for a period of time, the post is in there. So instead of posting every 2 minutes for that party, you would make it every 3 hours.
Exactly.
It's done now.
Right.
That's right. On the little chat feature here, I did send you guys all the QR codes. When the new catalog came out, they had a lot of QR codes in them. Those are the little square barcode things. And so what I did one day is I scanned every single one in the catalog and I saved the link. So that takes you to a video of that product. And so from the nights from tonight with this recording that I will upload to YouTube, I will put those links in there too. So if you want to talk about the closing cut, you could say, hey, check out this new product we have called the closing cut. Paste the link to the YouTube video and they can watch it right there. So that's what Carrie's talking about with the YouTube videos, or the ones that Pampered Chef has made. And they're just like, I think maybe the longest one might be 2 or 3 minutes, but a lot of them are really quick.
Oh yeah, right.
Oh,
Yeah.
this is good.
Can I ask a question?
Go ahead, Jennifer.
Do we have to be added to these pages, the virtual Facebook page? Are those closed groups?
They're probably closed, but somebody
Okay.
on this page can add you.
Okay.
Right. Just make sure that in your profile, on the Facebook profile, that you have that you're a Pampered Chef consultant, or the admin of that group will not accept you.
Yeah,
Okay.
they've gotten a little, the admins have gotten a little more strict on that, and you have to have Pampered Chef like either listed like in your work history or like right below your name on Facebook. And sometimes, like I think Kayla had the issue where she had her page more private, and because she and the admin were not friends, they could not even see that. So she had to like change up some of her privacy settings so they could see that, even though like me as her friend could see it, they couldn't see it.
Okay.
Kayla, did you have a question? I see that your hand is raised.
That was my question, is if somebody could add me to that virtual group.
Let me go in and try to do that right now, Kayla.
Okay, thank you.
All right, does anybody else have a question?
I thought Christy had her hand up.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's not raised. She's not doing it virtually, so that's why I didn't see it. Okay.
And unmute yourself.
You have to take
Christy.
yourself off mute.
Got it. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Hey, okay, I got 2 things. First off, Tiffany, you mentioned that all of Carrie's posts were uploaded, or you put them onto the Downey organization, and we just looked through there and we didn't see them. Do you know where
It's because we talked about it in a director's meeting. It was posted on the director's page. So because this is the organizational meeting, once I post the notes on the organizational meeting, then they'll be included.
Second of all, question to you, Carrie, is that I've heard really good success with bookings from these virtual shows, live ones. And are you getting them mostly just from the posts that you have loaded, or how do you think the bookings are occurring off of this?
Well, off of that $1,200 party, I got 1 booking, and we haven't set the date yet. She said June was totally out, and I said, well, I'm good for July, you know. But from my booking, okay, from my virtual show, I got the $1,200 party. From the $1,200 party, I'm going to do one in July. And then the one catalog party that I didn't get a booking there. And then my 4th one bombed, and so Friday night's gonna, and then I had another one just last Wednesday night, and it's over $300, so it's a little on the smaller side, but it's $300 I didn't have, and I think she's gonna have a booking. She hasn't committed to it either, so seems like I'm kind of averaging 1 per party.
Just being on that Facebook group, it looked like there was a lot of success with the bookings. Have you picked anybody's brain, any of you, in regards to how they're getting the bookings at all? No?
No, I have started posting a little bit stronger on the host specials, and this is what you can get. And I'm doing it several times before the party, you know, trying to put it in their mind already. And then there's a post during the live party as well. But I haven't really picked anybody's brain, so I would like to get a little bit more of these. I personally would like to average a couple a week for, you know.
Why not, right? So what I was thinking just to brainstorm it, I was thinking possibly, you know, like everybody that books tonight gets their name thrown in for a drawing or something. Or
Definitely. Yeah. And on those posts, there are, on the post they'll say, if you book tonight, you get your name in the drawing, you know, for more tickets or whatever. So, yeah.
And Carrie, tell them what you were saying last week about like how this is going to help you and Jack in wanting to travel.
Oh yeah. I mean, I've really been thinking about this because I mean, like Jack will go on a 10-day motorcycle trip, and you know I can't be gone for 10 days, and so I'm thinking about buying a smaller laptop and setting up, if I can, setting up a couple 3 virtual parties while I'm gone. And then, you know, it's posting for me all that time, and then just make sure I'm in my hotel room when the virtual party is at time to go, and then I can just be on there live too, do it for 1 hour, and I'm making money while I'm still on vacation. And that gives me a little bit of hope, feeling that, you know, because we know, I mean, if we don't work, we don't get paid, right? You know, because in our business, it's not like in the corporate world you get a paid vacation. So to me, this would be one way of maybe a possibility of being able to take that with me on the road or wherever you go. I mean, if you have a laptop and you're at some conference meeting or whatever, but you have some time in the evening, you can do that.
I was thinking about that too, Carrie, because I set up my first virtual party is this Thursday, and then my daughter's softball team decided we're going to a baseball game at our local farm team's game this week, and I was like, crap, I don't want to cancel my virtual party, and I had only done it where I posted myself every 2 minutes. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to schedule them all on Tiny Torch and take my iPad with me because I have cellular in my iPad, but I can do it from my phone too, and then just check on the posts as they're posting. And like you said, you're almost like the guest as you're refreshing, and you can comment on them that way. So I'm going to totally be drinking a beer, watching baseball, and doing a virtual party on Thursday night.
Exactly. Let me know how it works on the iPad, because
Okay.
I have an iPad. I just had heard that it works a little bit different on the iPad. So I'd like to know how that works, because I mean, if it works decently, I have that and I wouldn't have to buy a laptop. However, this is another good excuse to maybe let me get talk myself into getting one. The other night, my internet went down. I mean, the other day, my internet was down for the whole day, and I called AT&T, and come to find out it was a glitch in their thing. But I'm like, oh my gosh, what if that would have happened during when a virtual party was scheduled? If I had a laptop, I could go down to McDonald's and still hold my virtual party.
Exactly. Now, Michelle has her hand up next. So go ahead, Michelle. And then Debbie.
Okay, I've had 3 virtual parties. They've all been around 250-ish. Actually just had my 4th, I guess, and it's kind of sitting there with 1 order, but hopefully going to get some more before the end of the week here. I told her a couple more days. But the thing that I have found, it's really increasing your customer base.
Right.
I have had people from all over the country get on these virtual parties. I actually booked a virtual party with a girl from North Carolina.
Right.
I would never have met her before.
Step off my East Coast people.
Hey, sorry. And I actually, my newest consultant was on a virtual party that I did. So you can really, increase people that you may not have run into otherwise. And
yep, that's a good point, Michelle. That is such a good point, because you are increasing your customer base by doing these, and those people, and then afterwards, I personally messaged them, thanked them for coming. Would you like to, I said, would you like to be my Facebook friend and be a part of my closed Pampered Chef group? And so not only are they going to be on my newsletter list, but good point, they're now going to get my newsletter. So it's a good point, Michelle. You're going to open your customer base to people all over the country.
All right, Debbie, you're up.
I just want to know the correct name of the Facebook page.
Pampered Chef Virtual Parties.
Okay. Because I keep trying to look it up and I keep getting individual people's virtual parties.
Do you want me to add you?
Closed, so you probably can't look it up.
Oh, okay. Yes. Please add me so I can try to figure something out.
Okay, just added you.
Thank you, dear.
You're welcome.
All right, right now I don't have any other hands up. Does anybody else have a question? Go ahead, Kathy.
I can't find the little hand thing to raise. You had the link on here for all the little QR codes that you had saved. Yep. Can we save that somehow so that we can access?
It's an Evernote link, so you have to be able to save it in your Evernote notebook.
Okay, so
Or you can just view it. If you click my link, it will take you just to view it. If you don't want to save it, you have to, in the top right-hand corner, put, I think it should say save note. And
okay.
you have to select a notebook if you already have an Evernote, or
create
or
an
create
account.
one. It's a free service. Like, just for example, I have a notebook called Disney, and I heard you guys earlier saying about how your confirms and all that stuff. I just have a notebook called Disney, and every confirm I've gotten, I've just saved right over in my Disney folder. And so it's a really handy little tool that I've been using. And so it works nice for these kind of things too, that I can and you can tag it. And that's the same thing that you can do in Tiny Torch. I noticed there's a line for tagging. So like I did the strawberry salad post just real quick, and I had a picture of it, and I tagged it strawberry and salad. So later on, if you go to search just for that word, it would pop up. Same thing with Evernote. If you save something like QR code and then virtual, no matter what you're looking for, if you type in one of those words, it will pop up.
And I have all my virtual party posts in an Evernote notebook.
Good for you, Michelle. Now you were supposed to save it or send me the link.
I still haven't figured all that part out. I'm working on it. I need to look again.
Do you want me to show you real quick?
Oh, maybe we could do that another day.
All right, hold on, you guys. Those of you who've got Evernote, here's my Evernote right here. If you've got and this is where I copied this QR code from. I didn't even remember where it had it saved, so I went into my note section and I typed in QR. And it was one of the first ones that popped up. If you click here to share, it says copy share URL. And then I can just exit out of that. If I come back over here to all y'all, and I go into the chat feature, I then can paste it. But see how Evernote's got a really long and wonky looking link? That's why sometimes I change them. But that's the quick and easy way to share, is just click that copy URL and then paste.
Okay.
So that's all you need to do, is send me an email with that, so then I can merge it with my notebook and save it in there too.
Tiffany?
Yes.
Can I borrow your brain for a couple of hours?
Yeah. You guys know you can fly me out anytime you want. Put your money together, buy me a plane ticket.
Well, we might have to do that. I got plenty of rooms for you to stay in.
Hey,
we're gonna need more than a couple hours. We're gonna need several.
All weekend.
We should have probably planned better to go to conference like a day even before the day early, and we could have had a tech session.
I would like that again.
That would be good.
I'm taking an Evernote class at conference.
You are?
Very good. Yeah, there is a class on that. So it will come in handy. I mean, we've used it from everything from scanning in receipts, saving receipts. I save my kids' passwords because they're 10 and 8. They don't know what their passwords are. And so I save them for their touches and their lunch code at school. And so that way, if I'm at the I also saved medications and all the prescription stuff. So, whenever you go to a new doctor's office, you have to write all that stuff down. And I don't remember all that stuff without the bottle in front of me. So one time I took pictures of all the bottles and saved it in Evernote. And then now when I go to the doctor's, I just pull that notebook up. Also great when you're traveling and you say there was an emergency, knock on wood, and one of us ends up in the ER in Disney and they need to know, what you're already on or whatever, you can find it all right there. All right, anybody else have any questions? Well, Carrie, I do want to thank you for taking the time to share with us again. And were you reading from something when you were giving us your stats about sales and shows, or was that from memory?
Oh, it's pretty much from memory.
Okay. I did not type it as you were talking, and I was trying to think, I wanted to save it in the notes to send out with this recording.
Yeah, it's right under $2,200 that I increased my sales.
Okay. Well, I'll try to get some of these notes together. I will save this video, and then we can send it on to our teams. Also with the pin post from that other group for them to listen to the phone call. And then that way as leaders, we can give them some direction to somewhere to start, because we're all kind of learning it together.
Right. And like I said, in the beginning, I'm not an expert, but I'm just sharing with what I've learned just last month. And I'm excited about it. I'm excited about what it can do for all of us.
Yes, ma'am. Well, definitely thank you again. And
You're welcome.
I hope you all find some insight on this. I'm going to stop our recording now.